This is Rogers TV.
Hey, welcome to Daytime Ottawa on this beautiful sunny day. I want you to stay tuned to the end of the show because we're going to be announcing the winner of our Mother's Day Makeover Contest. I talked to the daughter of the winner yesterday, and she happened to be with her mom. So excited, but we'll give you all those details coming up and share a picture with you. But we start off the show because Taste for Hope is 95% sold out. I was just online this morning. It's coming up May the 15th, so if you want to go, it's going to an amazing cause. We have many of the restaurants on the show so far, and that brings me to my first guest. Here in the kitchen, I'm joined by Wapakuni Ria LaChapelle. She's the owner and executive chef at Nikosi Bistro Pub. Welcome.
Hi,
Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for this setup, by the way. This is probably one of the biggest setups we've had in our kitchen in quite some time. So I appreciate that you came and did all this. I want to talk, before we get into building something, tell me a little bit about your culinary background, the journey you've been on.
My journey started at a very young age. My background, I'm Métis, and so a lot of it was up north. My dad hunting, fishing, and using a lot of the wild products.
Right.
And so that kind of followed me throughout my life. And then at home, also using bannock as our main staple for bread. And so I was fortunate enough to travel and I've always worked in the restaurant industry, hospitality. So yeah, so I kind of put all of those things in my pocket, and then today I own Nikosi Bistro Pub, which is in Wakefield, Quebec, and it's basically a fusion of my Métis and French background, and with a twist.
So you went to BC as well for about 10 years,
yes,
right?
I did,
Worked in the hospital. And so what brought you to the Ottawa region in particular?
Well, I actually grew up in Abitibi-Témiscamingue and partly in Wakefield, where the restaurant is now, and so I traveled and I came back. I just missed the area, I missed my family, and just Wakefield's a really special little spot. So
it really is. If nobody's been to Wakefield, it is. There's just something about that community, right? Not only the food and the farm, but the arts community. It's just a magical area, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
Let's build something. You're going to be part of Taste for Hope. Is this your first year at Taste for Hope, or you've been in the past?
I recently this winter did something. The Grinch's dinner with the Shepherds of Good Hope, and that went really well. Great cause. I'm happy to be here. So what I'm going to do today is a take on the event on the 15th, which is going to be, we're going to do some maple smoked trout, and we're going to do that with our beet cream cheese, a version of a s'more broad, I guess, and then we have some fried capers, some fried leeks, and we're going to do that with a nice salad, summer salad with asparagus is in season. We have some blueberries, tomatoes, beets, and some greens.
Love it.
So,
let's get to work.
Perfect. So if you'd like to start cutting some tomatoes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love that you're putting me to work. This is great. I love cooking. I'm not quite at the caliber you were at, but I've always enjoyed cooking at home for sure. You just need these in half?
Yeah, in half. The halves are great.
Okay,
yeah, perfect.
So as we're building here, tell me a little bit more about the fusion and sort of walk me through your menu and what are some of the sort of the top items on the menu that you enjoy?
One of them is actually what we're making right now. We're going to do it a little differently for the Taste of Good Hope. It'll be more of a bannock crostini. This bannock here is with sumac. So I like to use stinging nettle or sumac or blueberries in the bannock that we make to fusion that. And depending on the season, but I just have fun with different cultures but putting the twist of where we come from and all that.
Exactly. So your family Métis and French Canadian?
So Métis, So that is So a Métis,
So then you grew up with a great variety of probably just at home.
I did, actually. I remember when I was younger, I just would hope secretly that we could be like normal and eat like chicken, and because we were eating partridge and hare. But looking back, I couldn't have. I mean, I appreciated it so much today, but and so I definitely. I find I'm lucky having that in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. You're also in a beautiful spot there too. Tell everybody sort of the environment that you find yourself in, because you got a great view there.
Yeah, so I'm right across from the river in Wakefield, and I have a beautiful patio, and summer's coming, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I guess that's just around the corner, the patio.
Exactly.
Right. It's patio weather today, that's for sure.
It is. The weekend was pretty busy. It's nice. it's nice. It's going to be hectic for the next 3 months, and then
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Right. This is the busiest time, and I guess is this the most exciting time too? Because as you said, with that fusion, you're probably using a lot of local ingredients as well. So just around the corner.
Yeah, it's definitely the menu needs to be changing. So there's lots to do in a short amount of time, and finding the staff. It's very different.
Yeah.
It's pretty quiet in the winter, and then it gets very fast and busy during the summer. So yeah, we're working on that presently. I will be adding Nordic shrimp, lobster, spaghetti with fresh parm, with a bannock crostini,
okay.
Things like that. We have our grilled cheese, which is pretty famous. It's been on shows, still standing, and things like that. Like,
oh,
yeah,
really?
So,
That's amazing.
So people come from everywhere to come and try our deluxe bannock grilled cheese, which is with duck confit, caramelized onions, aged cheddar, and fried kale.
Oh my God!
And then we make our home potatoes, our fries, and we serve our fries with our homemade aioli with roasted garlic and maple syrup. So
holy cow,
and
that
we
sounds
also
incredible.
have great cocktails.
Yeah, you do a lot of you do a lot of custom cocktails, right?
We do. So again, like a take on the Moscow Mule, I have a Wakefield Mule. So we use spruce beer, fresh blueberry juice, spruce powder, so
nice.
fresh mint. Yeah.
All right,
So,
I'm going to add a little bit, some blueberries
I have some,
here.
Veggies here for you also.
Okay.
To add to the salad.
And then we've got what, carrots and beets, you said,
So we got
right?
some twirl carrots, twirl beets.
Look at the color of this.
We are going to add some of this grilled asparagus.
Okay.
And we have some winter radish, cucumber.
Amazing.
And I'm just toasting the bannock.
Look at that. Oh, look at that. I just took it away as you were getting the close-up. Sorry about that, buddy.
We can add this to it also.
Okay. Let me grab that from you. Nice. Perfection.
Perfect. And
All
now
right.
we are going to make our smørbrød.
Okay.
So I've toasted the bannock here, and honestly, at home you can do this with any type of bread you like. You can use gluten-free bread. It's just a really nice, simple. Actually, you know what I'm going to get you to do? We're going to start also marinating the salmon.
Okay.
So if you'd like to, maybe just take the salmon here.
Yeah.
And this again, you can buy locally smoked trout, salmon, whatever fish you like, and it's basically what you're going to do is add some of the maple syrup.
Okay.
So as you go, you're going to do a little twirl of maple syrup.
Yeah.
And excuse me, I forgot to take this saran wrap off the pepper.
That's all right.
And then just a little pepper.
Okay.
And as you're layering it,
so I'm going to layer it up. Okay,
yeah,
I
you just put it there, and then we'll put that on our smørbrød.
Jewel, how much time do we have? 1 minute? Can't do this in 1 minute. Jewel, the pressure's on now.
1 minute. Okay, so.
Listen, even if we don't finish, the nice thing is people get an idea of what you're going to be preparing at Taste for Hope, and this is something obviously on your menu, I imagine too, right?
It is
in some form,
and then
right?
if I can actually just come over and kind of show you the final look of the product.
Yeah.
So you have this is smoked trout, and we are going to put some.
What is that? I was wondering about that. What have you got here?
Oh, these are fried leeks.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
We have some fried capers here.
I'm going to remind everybody, by the way, where you're at. In Wakefield, 721 Chemin Riverside. You can go to nicozibistropub.com, by the way, to find out more information. As I said, 95% sold out at Taste for Hope, and you can come and give this a try. And tell her that you saw her on Daytime Ottawa. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting sober driving. I hope we never meet.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. I'm Meg, and this is Fit Finley, and we're from Fit Over 50. Join me for a new season, which is full of awesome workouts designed for adults 50 plus. Improve your motivation, your strength, and your energy. Join me for a new season of Fit Over 50 exclusively on Rogers TV.
I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
Oh my goodness, is there a lot going on at the Ottawa School of Art? They have tons of things happening. Here to tell us about that and as usual, walk us through a little bit of a painting demonstration. David Kern, he is an artist and instructor at the Ottawa School of Art, and of course you do your own thing as well. Welcome back, David. Great to have you back.
Great to be back again.
You know, one thing you sent along, and I don't think we touched on it the last few times, is just, you know, the historical value of having the Ottawa School of Art. Like, am I right? 1879 is when it began?
People don't know how unique the school is, right? Yeah. It's one of the oldest art schools in Canada, and it's one of the few like independent, open courses for everyone schools, you know, sort of across the nation. There's so we are really sort of lucky, and I'm lucky to be able to be associated with them, right? Yeah. Because a lot of our schools are either academic, they're associated with a gallery, you know, the things are seasonal, but you know, we're a full school, and we're open to everyone, you know, adults, diploma students, children and teens. We do online courses, yeah. Right? It's just the real McCoy. Yeah.
And last time you were on, we were talking about spring workshops coming up. I imagine those filled up quite quickly, but you do have some summer programming coming as well, right?
Yeah, there's the spring programs going, but the summer programs there for registration. The kids camps. That's we got a big program for children throughout the summer, and that's open, and there are adult courses as well. There's adult courses, right. More evening courses and weekend courses. So yes, there's the registration for the summers, and it's coming quickly. Got the weather today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll get to some of the other exciting things that are coming up, but as usual, you always come on and you teach us a little bit about art and painting in general. What are we going to be talking about today in particular?
So today I thought we wrote, last time we did something with charcoal, so today I thought we'd do something with some ink and a bit of watercolor. Okay. Right? Which you call sort of ink and wash. I say wash because if you've got something defined with some ink, it kind of carries the image, and you can get all nice and messy with watercolor, and it doesn't matter.
Nice.
Right?
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna do. And I thought I'd use this little reference from A.Y. Jackson. This is a little sketch a pencil sketch that A.Y. Jackson did.
Oh, really?
Of the group of 7. Yeah. Right. So I thought we'd just interpret that, and I've got I've redrawn it in pencil. Right. So I've drawn it in pencil, and now we can take some ink. Right. So I've got a nice ink pen. Right. Okay. Right. And with based on having the drawing, we can actually sort of put in some ink, and you can be a little bit loose with it because you already know where things are going to go. Right. And actually, in some ways, it is actually better if they're not kind of perfect, right? You get these kind of slightly, well, because it just looks a little lyrical. The spatial arrangements are not too bad because you did it in pencil, but this gives you the chance to just be a little freer with the ink.
Yeah, you don't have to be perfect, right? That's the idea.
You got a little bit of a guide. So why don't you have a go?
Okay, okay. So, I love it when you come on. Allow me to do this. So.
So in some ways, it's better when it's a little bit sort of, I would say, wonky, right? Just exactly, right?
Yeah.
So it looks, you might say, a little bit cartoonish or expressive, right? And so we can just kind of ink in these things, right? So it's
that's
quite quick to do.
I'm an artiste, everybody.
There you go. So
let's not go too far here.
So we got, so if we've got a bit of a drawn image, we don't have to go too far because we can actually come back to it.
I was going to ask you that because I was under the impression when you did something like this in watercolor, you did the watercolors first and then followed up with the ink. But I guess that you do both.
You can do both.
Okay.
Yes. So, and in fact, I've got an example where I just put a bit of ink afterwards.
Okay.
It's actually Wakefield. And
is it really? Nice.
Yeah, that's
nice.
And,
well, you'll have to go visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nicosi Bistro Pub.
So, or you could do it before. The only thing is, when you do it before, just make sure that your pen is waterproof, right? Otherwise, you get sort of it all.
Things could get ugly if it's not waterproof.
Expressive.
Yes.
More expressive, right?
Yes.
So now we've got something in ink, right? I can actually just quickly rub out all those pencil marks, right?
Oh,
Sometimes people like to leave them in, but if I want to, I can just rub them all out, right?
Okay.
So now I've got purely an ink drawing, which I can put some watercolor in. So we'll have a go at that.
Let's go. Yeah, we got a couple of minutes. And then the good news is, by the way, David is here for 2 segments. So you'll be able to see this process. We might not be able to finish the entire process, but you'll get to see a lot of the process. Yeah.
So when I'm doing watercolor, I always like to start with the sky. Right?
Okay.
Just a lot of watercolors. So some people turn it upside down. Some people have it horizontal. I've got it kind of vertically set, right? Yeah. Which is a little unusual for watercolorists, but of course, if it's vertically set, I kind of know where the water's going. It's going to go down, right?
Okay.
And look, I don't really care if I go over the image a little bit.
And why not?
Right?
Why don't we care?
Because we got all that ink there.
I see.
We got all that ink, which is going to help us.
And you can use that, I guess, to blend in other colors later? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here, this could be, they could be clouds. They could be something, right? But the thing is, I'm not trying to be too particular about it, right?
Right.
And maybe I'd just smudge that out, but this too, right? But
I love watching an artist that knows what they're doing, right?
So just before break, we've probably got time. Why don't you just put a bit of grass in there?
Okay, okay. I appreciate the trust you have in me.
Yeah, there we go. So we got a brush with.
Okay.
So just sweeping on back and forward, right? And leave a little bit of white space, right? Because that kind of shows the dimension of the thing.
How's that?
So just a little bit off here.
Okay.
So, cool. There we go. So
So
now.
Look, we're building something together.
Yeah.
Imagine what we could sell this for. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. David's going to stick around. We're going to continue building on this beautiful piece of art here, and we'll tell you what else is happening at the Ottawa School of Art coming up right after this.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. But because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, she may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
My name is Chase Nicholas. I am a Mi'kmaq hockey player. Growing up, I always remember my family talking about the Mi'kmaq as the creators of the game of hockey. In grade 7, I did research on Mi'kmaq hockey sticks as the first sticks of the NHL. I found a Mi'kmaq hockey stick made in 1917, the same year the NHL was formed. I was surprised to find out the very stick I was holding was made by my great-great-grandfather, Alexander Cope. In 1934, an elder known as Old Joe Cope wrote a letter to the Halifax Herald claiming the Mi'kmaq created hockey. I found out later that I am a direct descendant of Old Joe Cope. There was a time when Mi'kmaq children were torn from their families and not allowed to speak their language, losing their words and stories. but the stories are coming back to us. Stepping on the ice, I take pride knowing the roots of the game of hockey stem from my ancestors in the Mi'kmaq Nation.
Join us for Season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Back with artist and instructor David Kern. We're working on our watercolor wash and ink. I guess we could call ink and wash. You sent along some great photos as well. So as we're doing this, I'll ask them to bring up some of the photos, because one of them is actually, you mentioned earlier, from Wakefield, which is perfect because we're just talking to Wapakuni about her beautiful restaurant out there in Wakefield. And this is the one here, isn't it, David?
That's it.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
That's Fairburn House, which is the museum and visitor centre.
Yeah.
Wakefield, just by the bridge, across the river from the town.
Yeah, I just went there last summer. It's a beautiful spot, and here's some more of your work here.
So this just shows how you can get quite loose with a bit of ink and watercolor, and the image kind of makes a bit of sense. Just a couple of cars there, and this is a version of what we're doing today, and it's actually on the website there. I go step by step how I did this live with a video on davidkern.com /get started. Right?
Excellent. And then there's the summer camp information there that we talked about as well.
Yeah, and there's a nice picture of the school as well. So if you're going past this building, right, just drop in, right?
Yeah, that's something you and I have talked about before. It's not just a school, right? It's also a gallery. It's a public place. You can go in and out anytime you want. And then this is you doing some plein air that's coming up. You and your wife are doing,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes, indeed. We've got a number of plein air sessions coming up, and they're all on the website.
Excellent. All right.
So now we can put the building in, right? And if I just take some paint and I do some vertical strokes with the brush, right? I can actually sort of make something of the site. Well, you have a quick go there, Derek, and I'll get another brush.
You have some other exhibitions that are sort of ongoing as well right now, right? That people can go and visit.
Yeah, they can. There's. I'll just make this a little bit darker. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a number of great exhibitions going on at the school at the moment. There's one with Works on Paper, which is actually in the area in the Byward Market building itself,
right
above the commercial area, right?
Okay.
It's a big base, 116 drawings.
Really?
It's one of the biggest exhibitions in Ottawa. It's really worth going and seeing, right? There's the finalists for the portrait competition. That's on at the school this week.
They're on display all week?
All week here downtown. And the kids show, which is really great. That's starting next week.
Oh, I cannot wait. Okay, I got to pay you a visit next week. That'll be great.
Yeah. So now we've put some siding in it. It starts looking like a house. But I always like to put a bit of color on the painting. So we'll just say we don't know what kind of roof it was.
Okay.
A.Y. Jackson didn't tell us, so we're just going to make it red, right?
Okay.
So we'll just give this guy a bit of a red roof.
Nice.
And I'll just quickly add a bit of the rest of the siding in here.
David, when you're doing watercolor, can you do it all at the same time, or do you let portions of it dry for any reason?
Well, you should. Some people would say you should let it dry. It's just I'm impatient, so I kind of
I appreciate your honesty.
But the thing is that if you've got this line drawing, right, you can get quite sloppy with the watercolor, and it still makes a bit of sense, right? So even though we've done this very quickly, it looks like a house, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I can go back in with some more ink and I can just add some details, right? That just perhaps make it look like there's reflections in the window.
Right.
Right. Maybe I noticed on A.Y. Jackson's sketch there's some fencing.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, we could just go and add a little bit of detail in afterwards, and the more you do, the more it becomes a nice little drawing, right?
And I was going to ask you about that too. I mean, for those that are perhaps beginners and they're a little intimidated, I mean, the idea is the more you do, the better eventually you're going to get, right? And do it for yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Right? You've always said that, exactly, like it's the joy of doing it at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. And we've done this very quickly, right? And you know, maybe that sky looks like it's got some clouds. You know, sort of you can see tufts of grass, right? The building's like a little bit funky, but it makes a bit of sense, right? And it's in good part because this idea of having ink gives you definition.
Right.
And then the watercolor is loose, so you've got this kind of juxtaposition of two things.
Yeah.
The definition and the fluidity, right? So there we go. That's ink and wash.
I love it. Look at how quickly we put something like this together. Yeah. Obviously, the pencil drawing, right? We didn't show everybody home, but does that take a little bit more time because you want to make sure you get that right ratio with everything,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. You can take as much time as you want, right? And then you can get quite loose and creative with the ink and the wash, right? And you can. This is great for working outside as well, right? You can do.
Of course.
You could because these sort of images work very well with not too much kit.
Yeah.
Right. And actually, if you're like the urban sketchers, right? Urban sketchers. This is what they do all the time, right? You sort of see most of. Yeah. You know, there's buildings and trees and things.
Yeah, they're not fine lines, right? Yeah. They're not perfect. Yeah. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. They're just doing those quick sketches. I've even watched some, sort of architectural shows where they're outside of a building and, all of a sudden they're just sketching something, and it doesn't have to be perfection, right? It just has to have the right scale at the end of the day, I guess.
Right. In fact, it's better if it's not perfect.
Right.
That's the thing, right? Because the thing is that all the pieces have to
might
work
as well
together.
take a picture.
Right,
rather than paint, and not taking away. By the way, there's fabulous photographers out there, and we. I know at the Ottawa School of Art, you
including some photography sessions, right? And actually, just as an aside, I would say all artists were to learn a lot from composition, looking at photographers.
100%. You can contact David directly, by the way, at david@davidkern.com.
That's me.
Go.
That's me. And any questions? We got some plenary sessions coming up. First one's on Thursday, just in 2 days.
Excellent.
We're going to do Wakefield in July.
There you go, Wakefield in July. Yeah. We'll be back with more right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand new government supports.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to learn about the Distress Center of Ottawa and region. They take over 55,000 calls a year, and they're waiting to hear from you.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Welcome back to the show. My next guest just reminded me what a great segue it is, talking about, cooking and then the culinary and also then moving into art, because all of that means literacy, and literacy is so incredibly important. And they actually had some of the latest polls, and I think some of the numbers are going to surprise you when it comes to how many Canadians are struggling with their literacy. Here to tell us more about it, I'm joined by the CEO of United for Literacy, Melanie Valsaint. Welcome. Great to have you here, Melanie.
Thank you for having me, Derek.
Before we, get into those numbers, let's talk about United for Literacy. Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
For sure. So United for Literacy is formerly known as a Frontier College. We're a national literacy organization offering supports to individuals, families, and communities all across Canada, literally from coast to coast to coast. Literacy supports for people that want to increase their literacy skills: reading, writing, math, financial literacy, and digital literacy. And we're present here in Ottawa.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's great, because we're going to talk about some resources in just a little bit. But did you do these polls on a regular basis?
So in last February, we decided to conduct a poll across Canada to see what Canadians, citizens of this country think about literacy. Okay. We had done a similar poll back in 2017, and we thought, let's measure again. And Derek, very interesting results we got.
Yeah, let's talk about those results. So what did you find out?
Well, we found out that more than 90% of Canadians understand and believe that literacy is a very important factor for standards of life, good quality of life. And so over 90% of Canadians agree with us that literacy changes everything.
Right. But unfortunately, within that, we found that there's a lot of struggles. Tell me about some of those struggles.
Mm-hmm. There's international studies that are conducted every 10 years that measure literacy levels in all countries of the OECD, all OECD countries. And in Canada, it's Stats Canada that, rolls out those studies, those inquiries. And unfortunately, you might be surprised to know that one adult out of 5 in this country is struggling with the daily tasks that require reading, writing, or math. 1 out of 5. And if we talk about our children, we have 1 million children in this country that are not reading at the level that they should be reading at. So there's a lot of work to do. But solutions exist.
Right, yeah, for sure. But why because those numbers, I think, are worse than the last time that we did statistics. So why do you believe there's a setback?
So we will have the most recent studies. The results are just coming out this year.
Okay.
So, but we are anticipating a setback, unfortunately, because of the school disruptions, that COVID, the impact of COVID. The world is very different than from 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So people who are coming to us for support, for example, are people that are living in neighborhoods where maybe there's less community support in terms of literacy supports. They might be newcomers to Canada. They might have a disability. They might live in poverty and not have the resources that you and I might have to pay for a tutor for our child that is struggling with one of their subjects in school.
So, Melanie, what effect then does that have on employment, on the economy?
Mm-hmm. So studies after studies have showed that literacy has an impact on poverty levels, employment levels. It has an impact on health, of course. Right. Imagine if you're trying to read the direction on a bottle of medicine and you're struggling with the words, or you're trying to fill out a job application and the words on the form form a puzzle. Imagine the consequences of that. So that's why, again, at United for Literacy, we really, truly believe that in order to solve a lot of the societal challenges that we face as a community, as a society, we need to drastically improve the literacy levels of our children, youth, and adults.
So how do we go about doing that? What are some of the things available to people?
Well, so just here in Ottawa, United for Literacy has a great chapter, very dynamic. I think last year we had over 200 volunteers that registered in our programs to get trained and then to deliver literacy supports to children and youth in the community. I think we served about over 450 children in the Ottawa region. So if people, you're a parent or you're working in a community center and you know that some of your kids or the kids that you're supporting would like or would be in need of extra support with their reading, writing, or math, you can totally come to see us, and we'll see if we can work with you to provide trained volunteers that will be able to help face that challenge.
Melanie, is that group support, one-on-one support? What does that support look like?
Yes, that's a good question. We do all sorts of support. So we try to keep a ratio. It's either one-on-one or a ratio of 1 to 3. So one volunteer to 2 or 3 children, so that all these children get really the personalized support that they need to keep on advancing. And of course, the way that we work, it's always through games, arts, cooking, where, yes, sometimes we have to sit down to do some homework, but afterwards we always find time to make sure that kids discover the wonderful world of books and build their self-confidence when it comes to their schoolwork or their reading skills.
Yeah, because you don't want it to sound like a chore, because it isn't, right? Because you can learn, I mean, you can imaginate, right, when it comes to reading a book and figuring out, what that environment looks like to you, right? Or what that character looks like to you. Advice for parents at home that, are struggling right now to get their kids even interested in reading. What advice would you give them?
We just had 2 great examples earlier in the show. You want to interest your kids in reading? Hey, build a grocery list with them. Go get the ingredients and let's read a recipe together and assemble it together. Or let's read a story and before going to bed, and tomorrow morning before going to school, maybe we finish the end or we recreate another end, but by drawing. So you can integrate reading. Reading is everywhere, as we know, so turn it into a game. Make it fun with your children.
Somebody's watching today and they want to find out more about the programs that you offer. What's the best way to find out more information?
Best way to get involved, to find out about our program, or to donate, you can visit our website at www.unitedforliteracy.ca.
Excellent. Melanie, thank you so much.
Such a pleasure, Derek.
Really appreciate it. Just a reminder as well, visit that website. They are always looking for donations and volunteers as well. So if you're visiting the website and something piques your interest as a volunteer, please reach out to them. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, can I take your order? Hello?
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. 1 driving high combo, extra baked?
No. Could I get a burger with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. Smoking weed affects reaction time and concentration. A message from Mad Canada.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Watch Podium, exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. My next guest has just a very inspirational story to share. And we're actually going to start off the show talking about a friend of the community, city councillor for so many years, 8 consecutive times that she was voted in. I had a chance to sit down with her on her exit interview when she decided not to run for mayor or for city council again. I'm talking about Diane Deans, and my next guest has known Diane for many, many years. Kimberly Funston is the Recreation Fitness Supervisor at the Greenboro Community Center, which was a really special place for Diane and,
yes, it was.
and many people, of course, in the community. But you wanted to start off talking a little bit about that relationship you had with her.
Yeah, our community center is a very unique place. It's a family. It's not just a community center, and Diane Deans was a huge part of that center. And we just want to acknowledge that we're all thinking of her and her family at this time. It's a difficult time.
Yeah, agreed. Well said, Kimberly. And you have your own compelling story. You were a nurse for 20 years,
Yep.
and then you found it sort of overwhelming trying to have that proper balance in life between work and family and social life. Tell me about those times and the decision to start looking elsewhere.
Yes, so I was an OR nurse for 20 years. And then I had a son who was born with special needs.
Okay.
So I tried my best to be that super mom, do it all. But I found it was very hard to have a balance between my life, my family, and my career. So I kind of started to try and explore different options where I could use my medical background and experiences and combine it with my athletic experiences in my own life and see what I can do to give myself that same reward and that same passion and drive and still continue to help others, because that's what I really feel that I was put on this earth for, and I just love it. It literally fell in my lap. One thing happened after the other. It was just meant to be. And I landed at the community center, which is literally up the street from my house.
Nice.
And one opportunity just turned into
what was the
another.
first opportunity, Kimberly?
Actually, I was just a weight room supervisor.
Okay.
And then I was working out at Pinecrest Community Center, and Diane was our instructor there, and she just said, there's something about you that I think you would be good as an instructor or a personal trainer or something, and use your background to help others. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I kind of started to pursue it, and like I said, one thing led to another, and I got an interview at Greenboro Center, and here I am today. It's 13 years later.
So you're a fitness instructor, Pilates instructor, personal trainer,
spinning instructor.
Amazing.
The only thing I don't do is yoga because I don't have enough Zen.
Yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about there, Kimberly. My wife's been trying to get me into it, but hyperactive person like myself, it's difficult to do.
Yep.
So you talked about the staff being family,
yes.
and the center being community.
Absolutely.
I mean, how special is that to feel that way every time you go into work?
It's not work.
Yeah.
It's not work.
Yeah.
It's an incredible experience. It's far to none, and I have program coordinators that come in and out, and they say this center is far to none. It's such a unique place. The turnover is low. We have clients that have been going there for over 25 years and have never left. So I was my client there myself before I even started working there. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would be doing this as a different career.
I understand where you're coming from, because I've been in this building 16 out of my 20 years in television. I feel the same way. It's like it's family, it's community. I walk in here with a smile on my face every day, right? Yeah, it's not work. I don't think I've referred to it as work ever, because I might say I'm going to work, but my wife certainly knows, when I say that, it doesn't mean I'm actually feel like it. You know what I'm saying? You were recently recognized with a couple of awards. Tell me about those awards and what they mean to you.
It's still overwhelming. It's a little bit surreal to find out that we had 5 nominations for our community center for fitness, recreation, personal training, and myself for 2 different instructors. And we won all of them from Faces magazine. So yes, it's still a little surreal.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's certainly nice to be recognized, right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So I wanted to talk as well, like, you found out about this job just by word of mouth? Was that the idea?
Yes, kind of, sort of. I actually worked with a gentleman at Queensway Carleton, where I used to work as a nurse, and his wife was the recreational supervisor of Greenboro at the time, and he knew that I was trying to find some balance, and he says, you know, maybe you should apply to work for Greenboro. It's just up the street, and maybe you can find something that would fit your lifestyle and your passion, and kind of that's how it kind of happened.
Which is a City of Ottawa community center that we're
yes.
talking about. That's what we wanted to mention as well, the fact that if somebody's looking for work, I mean, your center is certainly looking, but I imagine all the community centers, right?
Community centers are always looking for people, and there's just so many different things that you can do at any center. It's easy to apply, just www.ottawa.ca, submit your application, add your resume. I always encourage people to, you know, go check out the centers, introduce yourself, and you never know, there's always someone to talk to.
Kimberly, do many of the centers offer sort of the same type of programming that your center offers, or it differs, I guess,
They do differ. They do differ. It just really depends on which center is closest to you. But yes, they do differ.
Do you have summer camps coming up too?
We do have summer camps.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very busy in the summer. One of the busiest centers in the city for camps. So yeah, there's always something going on.
And registration, swimming aside, I know it books up within like 3 minutes, but many of those other programs book up really quickly. Whether you're an adult or you've got a child that's interested in a summer camp at one of the City of Ottawa facilities, I can't encourage you enough. Make sure you register before you regret not getting in there. Kimberly, thanks so much. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. We'll be back with more right after this.
Was that 4 or 5? He's lost count and still thinks he can drive. Do you think he knows that when he is caught and charged with impaired driving, he'll lose his license and a lot more? If he gets in his car, he'll face costs exceeding $20,000. Does he realize he could have a criminal record for his choice to drive? And it could be much worse if he crashes. Wonder what he'll be thinking tomorrow.
I'm for have a Holden one at 15.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Hi, I'm Sam LaPrade, host of Ottawa Business Matters. We're going to gather here every single week and speak about business here in the capital. We're going to inspire, influence, and inform.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Join us for Season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. My next guest was on the show just a few weeks ago, but needed to have her back because a lot of really great things happening at the Ottawa Cancer Foundation to help raise funds for their many, many programs that they put on. Tricia Ross joins me. She is the Director of Special Events and Community Engagement. Welcome back. Great to have you here, Tricia.
Thank you for having me.
Leah, just talk about, you and I were just talking about the fact that, the pandemic had, the benefit of doing some of these things virtual, right? Mm-hmm. And because they were so successful, you've continued a lot of that, right? I mean, you still, in a hybrid thing, but certainly beneficial, I imagine, right, to a lot of the people that you serve.
Yeah. So some of our programs and services are offered virtually as well, so that people can access, the support that they're looking for in whatever way they're most comfortable.
What's new at the foundation since we last spoke?
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about Lemonade Stand Ammonium. Yeah. It was a massive fundraiser pre-COVID, and COVID kind of sucked the wind out of its sails, but we're trying to build it back up again. Just getting kids registered, and participation is more what we're looking for than anything else.
Right.
We have, a number of kids that participated last year, and we're just going to kind of continue to grow it as we go along.
Yeah, and it was nice that you could continue doing it virtually, but it just didn't have the same panache,
Right.
Like that little lemonade stand that you go by. I don't think there's ever been a lemonade stand I didn't stop at.
That's
you know
good
what
to
I mean?
know. I'll send you the list.
There you go. I'll have the list for sure. So let's talk about registration, choosing a location, some of the pieces of advice you can give to families out there.
Yeah, people can register online on our website, which is great, and they can build their own donation page, which is customized to each lemonade stand.
Okay.
So they can include, where their stand is going to be. They can pair it up with, a community garage sale. We had one adorable stand last year where we had, I think, 4 or 5 little girls who were at a halfway point on a golf course, which was fantastic.
A great idea.
Yeah. So they were able to, grab a lot of people along the way. But there's lots of ways that people can fundraise. We'll be hosting our own lemonade stand at Doors Open Ottawa weekend.
Oh, so. Excellent. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's another thing that's back. That happens the weekend of June 1st and 2nd.
Yes.
So for Doors Open Ottawa, do you invite people then into the actual facility too to give them a tour? What does that look like?
Yeah, we'll be offering tours inside the building as well as the Cancer Survivor Park. So we have folks on hand that day who will be doing the tours and guiding people around. We'll be having a taste of our Simmer and Social program.
Okay.
So people will be able to try that out, which encourages nutritious meals that are focused on healthy living for people who are experiencing cancer. And we'll have all of our program materials laid out so people have an understanding of who we are and what we do in that building. So we'll host a lemonade stand that day as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The Cancer Survivor Park, you'll also be doing that throughout the summer as well on Wednesdays, is that right, the tour?
Yeah, so once a month during the summer we'll host Cancer Survivor Park tours, and each of those days will be themed. So it may be, an ice cream day where we have ice cream on site for kids and families, and then another day might be yoga inspired. We hope to include the Kids Kicking Cancer program, and they would do a demonstration and people could join them. And then later on in the fall, our last one will be in October, where we'll be doing a tulip planting day. So
yeah, tell me the inspiration behind the park, and for those that haven't visited, when you go there, what's the experience like?
Yeah, it's really a time for people to, sit and reflect, and, whether it's through their own experiences or a family member or someone that you took care of. It's just that ongoing time to really look at what your journey has been like and have some quiet space to think and just process all of that.
You mentioned programs that people, when they visit Doors Open and at the lemonade stand, they'll find out. But let's talk about some of those programs that you offer here today.
Yeah, so cancer system navigation is a really critical piece to our programs and services. It's sort of that first touch point that people make when they're looking for some support. And again, it is that supportive cancer care piece. It's not the medical piece. It's all of those wraparound things that people are looking for. So, when somebody walks away from an appointment, they then think of the 50 questions they wish they had asked.
Yeah.
So our cancer system navigators are there to assist in finding the answers to those questions,
so
or
they're kind
finding
of like you're
resources.
acting as your advocate in that moment.
Yeah,
right?
Really an opportunity for people to walk that journey with you, and to find the resources you're looking for to take that homework out of that experience.
Right.
Yeah.
One important component, of course, is that program, other programs that you have available.
Yeah, so we have yoga programs and Qigong programs, things to help people continue to move. There are a lot of people who are athletic or really involved in sports, and they can no longer do that during their cancer treatments or even some of the post-cancer treatment impacts, you know? So we're just trying to keep them moving and healthy in that way, and it also involves a lot of mindfulness, which really helps the mental health piece.
Tricia, a lot of foundations, you know, after the pandemic, and you know, with affordability issues that we've seen, you know, across the country, it's constantly in the media. Have you seen some of those funding challenges as well at the foundation?
We certainly have.
Yeah.
I will say we do have a financial aid program to assist people who are looking for that kind of service to support them in getting to the hospital and things like that. But on the fundraising side, we certainly have seen a big impact, you know, where things specifically like Lemonade Standemonium, you know, the model of it has to change. We have to manage our expectations about what the fundraising looks like.
Right.
We're always looking for sponsors for events and happy to, you know, help people figure out which events best match the sponsorship that they're looking for.
Yeah, and they can reach out on the website at any time as well. Tricia, thanks so much. Always
you.
appreciate your time. We'll be back with more right after this.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to RogersTV.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at RogersTV.com.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to learn about the Distress Center of Ottawa and region. They take over 55,000 calls a year, and they're waiting to hear from you.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Hey, welcome back. As promised, get to announce our winner, and a big thanks to all of you who entered our contest over those last month that we've been running at our amazing mom makeover contest. It was a real hit. Just going to bring up the photo of our winner. Her name is Assunta. There she is, right there with her daughter Kim. So a big thanks to Kim, who entered her mom into this contest. And Assunta on the right there, she has won our contest. So she's going to be getting together with Bruno Racine at his salon and Leslie Ann Barrett on Monday, May the 13th in the morning. She's going to get her full makeover, and then the three of them come back to the studio here, and we're going to do the big reveal live at around 2 o'clock on the show. We'll talk to Leslie Ann and Bruno a little bit off the top and just talk about, you know, what they did and the makeover itself and how exciting the experience was, and then we'll do the big reveal and have Kim's mother Assunta come on the show and tell us what the experience has been like, and we'll find out a little bit more about her story because she went through a number of challenges. That's why her daughter entered her into the contest. So again, a big thanks to everybody. Hopefully we can do this again next year. Thanks again for all the entries. We'll see you next time here on Daytime.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com. Unscripted, uninterrupted coverage of events by Canada's business leaders, visionaries, and social figures. Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.